All right, we're ready to start creating our PowerPoint fish project. And to do that, the first thing we need to do is open up the program. So we're going to go down here to the bottom left of our computer screen, click on this Windows Start button, and then we're going to look for our program. So we're going to scroll down until we see all of the programs that start with the letter P, and right here you're going to find PowerPoint. You might also see it in your taskbar. You could also type it here in the search. Once that program opens, it's going to look something like this. You have several different options to get started. You could open up a recent file down here below. You could start with a template, or for our purposes, we are going to start with a blank presentation. So I'm going to click on that, and my blank presentation opens. Now, over here, this designer tab pops open, or panel. So I'm going to close that because it's just clutter. And then for a best practice, we are going to name our file to begin with. So I'm going to go to File, down to Save As, and I'm going to choose my folder location. So I'm going to go right over here to the location, and I'm going to change that to my digital art folder. So that happens to be in my documents and digital art right here, and PowerPoint Fish. You can see I have another full file in there. That's all right. I'm going to do the same thing. So I'm going to put my file name in, and naming conventions are always the same as well. So we're going to start with our last name, comma, space, first name, space, hyphen, space, PowerPoint fit, the program that we're using, space, and then the title of the project, which is Fish. So again, last name, comma, first name, space, hyphen, space, the name of the program that we're using, space, and then the name of the project, Fish. So that is the assignment right there. After I have that saved, I'm going to put a 2 at the end, because this is just so that I don't get confused with the file I've already created in my experiment there. So Fish, and I'm going to hit Save. All right, now if something would happen, I can easily hit the Save button up here, or File Save, and make sure that my document is saving for me, and I don't have to worry about that at the end of the day. So I'm just going to keep checking that and keep saving along the way. All right, first thing to get started with, we're going to design 3 underwater creatures, or 3 fish, and to do that we want to get rid of this title and subtitle text area. So these are text boxes, and if I click on them, I can go in and edit the text. And I can delete the text, but I can't delete the box if I'm in the edit mode of the text. So what I have to do is I have to click on the outside of the box. Now the shape or the box is selected, and then I can hit the delete key on my keyboard. The other way to do this is to draw a big box to select everything on the screen, and then hit that delete key on the keyboard. Okay, and you're selecting the box rather than the text. All right, so now I have a nice beautiful blank canvas to get started, and we're going to start building our fish by using the Shape tool. So you can see here up the top I have my menu bar, File, Home, Insert, Draw, Design, Transition, Animation, Slideshow, Record, View, Review, View, and Help. We can go to the Insert tab, and we can go to Shapes, and there's lots of options there. We can start to build our bug. So I selected the oval or circle tool. If I click and drag, it will create an oval. If I hold the Shift button on my keyboard, it will create a perfect circle. So I'm going to start out by drawing a circle, and if I want to add another shape, I could go back to the Insert tab, or in the Home tab over here there is a drawing section, and I can click on the shape, and my shapes will pop up here. So you can see the recent shapes are used, and then other basic shapes, and there's lots to choose from. Stay away from shapes that already look three-dimensional. Things like the smiley face, the post-it note, the frame, those are not good. The cylinder, the cube, those are not good to use for this particular project. So I can build though with anything. So let's say I'm going to add some kind of tail feature. And I'm going to go back up to Shape, and I'm going to keep adding, and I'll add some eyes. And your job is essentially to continue to add shapes as you go. Now, every time I add a shape, with the shape selected, my option bar changes here at the top. So I have some pretty basic blue shapes right here. So I can start to, as I design, work in color as well. So with that center part of the eye selected, I'm going to go up here to the Shape Style section in the Shape Fill, and I'm going to fill that in with black. Maybe I'll put a white behind that, and maybe the body of my fish will be purple, and maybe his tail will be yellow. Purple and yellow are complementary, so they look good together and they'll make each other stand out. So I got to continue to design. Once you're done designing, you should have 3 fish that you are ready to move on to the next part of the project. I think this guy needs a mouth of some kind. So what kind of shape could I use for that? I'm looking for a heart shape. And I don't know where it's at. Let's see what this is. This is a cool shape. Hold the shift button if you want it to be perfect. Maybe I can use this for a mouth shape. I can rotate. The other tools you might find interesting here are, maybe I want my mouth to go behind my body shape. So right up here I can go to arrange and send to back. Or if I don't like that, I can also right click and bring to front. So those tools are multiple ways you can do things here in PowerPoint, but that is the basic idea. If I want to send this to the back, I can right click, send to back, or I can right click and bring to front, or I can do it up here in the arrange section. Okay, I can also click on a shortcut here if I want to change the color, make it not quite so bright of a blue. I also need to continue to add shapes here. So I'm going to work and add some shapes to create my fish. Okay, I'm kind of happy with that right now. So that might be one fish that I'm going to use. So I'm going to draw a big box and just kind of move him out of the way. Okay, as you can see, I've added a few more fish to my page. The one thing I didn't mention up here on my big fish that I worked on here, I'm going to select everything. I can also, besides just playing around with the fill color, I can also address the line color. So if I want the whole thing to be outlined in black and I want that width to be a little bit darker, I can do that as well. Okay, so I'm going to, in this case, I'm going to pick something that works well with my fish. And if I don't like, that's the same body color width, I'm going to make it a little bit wider. But I want it to be a little darker than the body color. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to go more color options, and I'm going to make it a little darker of that same purple value. And there I have an outline. So you can adjust the outline color as well. We're going to work to create and make these look three-dimensional the next time, but your goal today is just to create 3 individual fish or 3 individual underwater creatures. So I'm going to make sure that this is saving up here at the top. It looks good. And then I'm going to take a screenshot to submit for my progress photo. So I'm going to grab my screenshot tool, drag a box around the entire thing, and get my screenshot. With that screenshot, mine pops up down here in the snip and sketch, so I can click on that tool. I can copy that to my clipboard to simply paste into turning this into the process, or I can save this. If I click the Save button, I can put this into our documents, into Find Our Digital Art folder, and there's that screenshot. So we can say that this is 3.01 lesson screenshot. There we go. So I have my screenshot saved and I can submit that properly. If you have any questions or concerns about this step of the project, please reach out and let me know. Otherwise, enjoy the process.